Okay, let's go.
Okay, folks, it's showtime! How about number one on the bottom 40?
And here we have Jazz out of the packaging, and out of the packaging he stands just a hair over 5 inches tall. He comes with his laser rifle, and he comes with a nice set of instructions that will help you transform him from a robot to a racing Porsche, and those are very handy. And we'll take a look at all of that in just a moment, but first off, I want to take a closer look at this cool jiving dude himself. And coming in real close on Jazz's head sculpt. Now this is a beautiful head sculpt, but this is a head sculpt that we have seen before because this is the Studio Series Jazz head sculpt and body. And this is really nice. Got your awesome black helmet with blue visor and nice silver face. Coming down to the chest, nice white, beautiful Autobot symbol there. Nice light blue headlights and silver for the grille. Red bordering the bottom of the hood. Coming out, you got some black shoulders, white forearms, silver for the midsection. Coming down to the pelvis, you got black with a lot of cool blue coming to the sides. I really like that. Coming down to some white legs. You do get a little bit of silver to break up this black section and some more silver for the lower legs and the toes. On this particular figure, you do get new racing stripes, which was not available on the original Studio Series. But just for comparison, let's go ahead and bring out the Studio Series. And as you can see, same sculpt, same mold, with just a minor differences as opposed to the Prime, which got a lot of sections repainted. Here, Jazz does not have a lot of differences, but starting off to begin with, you have the Autobot symbol, which is going to be different. It's going to be a little larger and bordered with silver over on the new Dramatic Capture series, whereas on the original Studio Series it was kind of small and bordered with white, and that's okay. It still looked good. Coming down, the next difference we see is that the Studio Series did not have the little silver breakup right here in the lower leg like you do here on the Dramatic Capture. And finally, just on the front side, the racing stripes on the lower legs as opposed to just solid white here, and that doesn't bother me much, and this is for vehicle mode anyway, so I don't have, a preference for that. Whether it's there or not doesn't really bother me. Turning the figures to the side, again, no real differences other than the racing stripes can kind of be seen on that. Coming to the back of the figure, now you can see a little more difference here. In the Dramatic Capture, as you see, you have the blue and red stripes coming down. Again, this will be more apparent in vehicle mode, but the stripe on the Dramatic Capture is a lot smaller than the stripe on the Studio Series. Little thicker over here, and other than that, there's not going to be a lot of difference anywhere in the figure. So, it's minor. I guess I got excited when I saw all the different color apps that they did with Prime. I was hoping they would duplicate that on Jazz as well. But for the most part, Studio Series nailed Jazz's coloring, so there wasn't a lot that they could do differently. Alright, and that is what Jazz looks like. Moving on. And for our articulation, starting at the head, Jazz's head can move around 360 degrees. You do get a little wiggle waggle left and right, forward and backwards, so that is good. Coming down to the shoulder. Shoulders can come up from the body, then back down, then go around 360 degrees. You do kind of get a little butterfly joint, but instead of in and out, it kind of goes up and down, and that's due to transformation. Coming down, you do get a little bicep rotation, 360 degrees there, coming to a nice elbow hinge, 90 degrees. I like that. There is no forearm rotation unless you want to go the entire arm based on the bicep swivel. You can do that. And the fist will hinge in and out for your articulation. They don't go around 360 degrees or anything like that. Please excuse the band-aid. I did kind of cut my finger to the wick and it looks kind of gross, so I figured you guys would appreciate the cute little bumblebee band-aid. But anyway, coming down to the center of the body, Jazz does have 360 degrees of waist rotation. Now make sure you get the back part of the car up a little bit so it won't be scraping, and then you will have clearance. All right, coming to the legs. Legs can kick up a long way, 90 degrees. They can kick back about the same amount, but the little panel on the back for the car gets in the way, and then you can come out to the side almost 90 degrees, but this hip gets in the way. I think, can we get past that? Nah, it's gonna stop us right about there, but that's still pretty good for articulation. For thigh rotation, you get 360 degrees, and coming down to your knee bend, you do get well over 90 degrees because that is part of the transformation, and it will fold up there. That is really nice. Coming down, there is no boot cut, but you do get a little bit of movement in the toes because they can go down and up, and then you have a little bit of foot rock to the inside, and that is pretty neat. And that is going to be Jazz's articulation. Moving on. And for accessories, Jazz comes with his laser blaster, and it is a very nice laser blaster. In fact, it's the same laser blaster that we got with the Studio Series. As you can see, they're both done in that nice silver coloring, and unfortunately, unlike Prime, it still has the little white plastic tabs coming out the side and the bottom. I would have been very happy had this been one solid color, but unfortunately, I guess they used all the paint on Optimus and just threw in Jazz's regular gun, which is okay because, you know, that's really all Jazz needs, unless you want to give him some speakers or something, but definitely needs his gun to stomp out the Decepticons. And Jazz can hold this, just pop it in his hand like such, and he can go to town shooting Decepticons. That is really cool. And if you don't want him to hold it, there is a little spot on the back where you could just pop it in there so he could, you know, store it on his back if you're so inclined. And that also works when he's in vehicle mode. So yeah, there is a few options to this little rifle, but obviously he's gonna carry it in his hand like this because he's got to be ready for the Decepticons. And that is going to be Jazz's accessory. Moving on. And for comparison, here you have Dramatic Capture Jazz with Dramatic Capture Optimus Prime, his music buddy, Studio Series Blaster, his other two lieutenants, Studio Series Ironhide and Earthrise Prowl, and Studio Series Bumblebee to round off the group. And I think he looks right at home with his other Autobot buddies. Alright, moving on. And full transformation. Now it's kind of simple, but also a little complicated. So what we will do is start up at the top. We will fold the forearms to the outside a little bit and then fold his hands in on both sides like such. That is good. We will close up the feet down here at the bottom, and then we will move the legs up and in on themselves to create the back of the car. All right, go ahead and tab these legs together like such. Move around the wheel sections so that they are going to be facing down on both sides, like such. Okay, so that is good. Now we are going to bring Jazz's hood up, like such. And then we are going to push Jazz's head down, like such. Okay, that will flip over. And then we got that nice blue part there. And on the bottom, Jazz's head will be sticking right there. And then you'll bring this little tab with the blue and the red stripe up and cover up that space right there. Now, we will turn the car midsection around. So you see this silver part? We're going to do 180 degrees with it, like such. And we are going to leave it on the back side and continue bringing the top part of the car around to 360 degrees so that we still got Jazz's head there. So there you go. Now at this point, bring the arms in and around, and that will bring the wheels out to the side. And if we've done our job properly, this white section will have a tab sticking out right there. And there it is. And we'll do the same on the other side, like such. And there you go. Get that all nice and flush. Okay, so that is the bottom of the car. Coming around to the top of the car, we are going to unfold the top roof section, bring out the 14 doorway on both sides, and then unfold this middle part to reveal the back windshield, like such. And when you do this, make sure that the windshield is above the door panel, like that. Alright, so now what we can do is just lay the back hood down, and you're going to move it forward to fill in this little gap, and then it will fall into place in the back. So bring it forward just a little bit. It will fold down and then snap into place in the back. You'll hear some popping and some snapping. And then when it gets into spot, it will click all nice and good. And then you will bring your door down, and you'll have the tab on the outside of the forearm and the port right here in the bottom of the door. And that will combine on both sides. And here you have Jazz in his vehicle mode. And that is a really nice vehicle mode. Let me get him squished together and make sure that he is all good to go, and I will be right back. And here we have Jazz in his racing Porsche mode, and he looks very nice. He still maintains his 14 number like he did in the Studio Series. All white. You got the blue stripes with the red on the back tire section. That is cool. Coming around to the front, you can see the beautiful Autobot symbol there, and the headlights and the red on the bottom of the hood, the silver. Everything is shining really well, and it pops really nicely in this mode. Got the blue translucent plastic for the windows. I like that. And coming around to the back, nothing picked out on the back except you do get the silver for the toes, but that's always been like that. And a little bit of black on the spoiler. That is actually new. And if we bring out the Studio Series Jazz to compare them in vehicle mode, there you go. This is going to be neat. Again, nothing really too distinguishing about them other than the racing stripes now on the back fender, and then now this black part on the spoiler. So that is different, and the stripe size is going to be a little smaller on the dramatic capture. Again, the Autobot symbol is different, and yeah, it's, again, I don't know when it comes to Jazz if it's enough to want to trade out your Jazz for the differences, but again, it's going to be up to you. And if you want the whole set of dramatic capture figures. But anyway, that is what your vehicle Jazz is going to look like. And he rolls really well, just in case you were wondering. So, alright, moving on. And full comparison, here you have Jazz with his fellow Autobots, and I think he looks really good in the vehicle form. When it comes to the scale and wise, I think it works well. Little racing car with a semi-truck and a transport van, always good. A little faster and speedier than a state patrol cruiser, so that is pretty cool. And then here he is with little Bumblebee. So Bumblebee may be a little bigger than he should be in this respect, but it's alright. And then you have Blaster, which never makes sense in any type of scale or comparison, but hey, there it is. I think that is really cool and fun. Alright, and that is going to be what Jazz looks like with the other Autobots. Alright, moving on. And this has been the Takara Tomy, the Dramatic Capture Series Autobot Headquarters 3-pack Jazz. And this was an awesome Jazz figure. Now, it is, again, the same sculpt and mold that we got with the Studio Series. There are a few different paint apps, such as the Autobot symbol on the chest, the racing stripes on the side of the lower wheels, and the little silver break up here, and the black on the spoiler. But it's not as different as the Prime figure was. But like I said before, the Studio Series Jazz was your basic Jazz paint job, and there was nothing really you could add to it that would make it better or worse. I think the new additions were fine, but it wasn't something I would buy the set specifically for, because this Jazz has been released a couple times before. First, he was in the Studio Series, then they released him in the Autobots Unite 5-pack, where he did have a different paint job. I think his windows were painted blue in that particular one. I haven't got it yet. I do have it on pre-order, so eventually I think I will be able to review it. And then they have just recently re-released the Studio Series Jazz, and he's on shelves right now if you're looking, and you don't want to drop $80 for this and you missed the Studio Series Jazz the first time. So all in all, this is still a good Jazz. He's a great figure. He has great articulation, and the transform is easy and intuitive. I like the color scheme. I like his laser rifle. Again, I would have been more happy if it was a solid silver, but the little white tabs, I guess I will live with. They are a bit distracting, but it is what it is. And that's all I've got to say about the Dramatic Capture Series Jazz. So if you are looking for him, you can find him at your online retailers in the complete set for about $89 to $115, or you can scour the secondary websites like eBay or Mercari and try to find him for a little cheaper if you just want the Jazz figure himself. But if you are looking for him in whatever capacity, happy hunting. And that's it, guys. That is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next time when we take a look at the Takara Tomy Dramatic Capture Series mainframe. And that will be an interesting one because I've never had a mainframe. So this will be a first for maybe all of us. So have a great night, guys. And until next time, keep playing.
Another day, another adventure.